Mina, Mina, Tikal Upharsin. Mina, Mina, Tikal Upharsin. Oh, hello, children. I didn't see you. I'm very upset right now. What? Don't you know what happened? No? Didn't you see the handwriting on the wall of the banquet hall? Come with me and I'll show you. Look, over there. Do you see those words? Well, they're a message from the God of Daniel to Belshazzar. Yes, an angel wrote them. Let me tell you. I am Nitocris, daughter of Nebuchadnezzar, and I am the queen mother. My son Belshazzar is the king of Babylon, along with his father Nabonidus. But since King Nabonidus prefers to spend most of his time in Arabia, well, Belshazzar is the one on the throne. And now this. Belshazzar knows very well all that happened to my father when he defied the God of heaven, and also how Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were delivered from death in that fiery furnace. But Belshazzar has rejected all wise counsel and rebelled against God. He grew up as a prince of Babylon, surrounded by much glory and luxury. Oh yes, he had it all. And that wasn't so good for him because he became filled with pride and arrogance. You see, my father Nebuchadnezzar worked hard to build Babylon, but Belshazzar has had everything given to him, and this hasn't helped him learn to be a good king. Just now, precisely when we are at war with the Medo-Persians and soldiers are surrounding the city, Belshazzar makes a banquet and invites thousands of princes and leaders. Just think, he believes that this city is invincible. And so he throws a party. He provided a lot of wine, food, dancers, and oh, you can imagine the mess. When Nebuchadnezzar made the golden statue, he also thought like Belshazzar, and, well, you know what happened after that. The worst thing is that Belshazzar called for the sacred golden vessels from the Temple of Jerusalem to be brought in, and he gave those women to drink wine from those cups. Nebuchadnezzar had brought them from Jerusalem and kept them in a special place because he respected the God of Daniel. But Belshazzar defied God. Now God will have Belshazzar drink from the cup of his wrath. Babylon has forgotten the God of Daniel, and now all that God has prophesied is being fulfilled. So in the middle of a feast, a hand suddenly appeared out of nowhere and began to write letters of fire on the wall. Nobody could understand what was happening. It looked like a message from the gods. Nobody said a word. The king's legs shook in fear, and he sent for all the magicians, Chaldeans, and soothsayers to interpret the words. The magicians could read them because they were written in Aramaic, which is the language we speak, but they couldn't understand the message. Remember the lesson Nebuchadnezzar learned. Yes, magicians and sorcerers know nothing about the future, much less about God's messages. Now imagine 1,000 princes, all drunk and trembling with fear. They had no idea what to do. At that moment, I entered the room, took one look at the situation, and advised the king to call Daniel. I knew Daniel could interpret God's message. When Daniel arrived, Belshazzar drunkenly promised to make him the third ruler in the kingdom if he could say what those words meant. Daniel didn't care about position or fame. He respectfully reminded the king that everything he had was given to him by God, and that because of pride, God had taken the throne away from Nebuchadnezzar for a time. Now, because of Belshazzar's pride and rebellion against God, the Persians would take away his throne forever. Look, read the words there from right to left. They say, Mena, Mena, Tekel Upharsin. Do you know what that means? No? Mena means counting. Tekel means weighing. And Farsin or Peres means to divide. But it also means Persians. So, counting, weighing, and dividing or Persians. According to Daniel, it means that God has counted all Belshazzar's actions and weighed them in the scales of divine judgment. But because all he did was filled with self and pride, well, now the kingdom will be divided, and my son will die when the Persians enter the city. Listen, alcohol clouds the mind. I have seen it with my own eyes. When a person drinks, he no longer knows right from wrong. So when someday you are invited to drink alcohol, say no, even if you are pressured by your friends. Alcohol destroys your mind, body, family, and future. Do you know what I learned? After what happened in the banquet hall today, I believe that there is always an unseen angel writing down everything we do and say. Yes, everything. The good and the bad, even our thoughts. All our actions are weighed in the scales of heaven. God is a righteous God who will one day judge the whole world and give the rebellious the punishment they deserve. But to those who have lived for him, he will give a very special reward. God will take you to that place where he lives, if you are faithful, up there above the clouds. Oh, no! Do you hear those screams? The Persian soldiers are entering the city. That means God's judgment has come upon Babylon. It has fallen. Great Babylon has fallen. Belshazzar has given wine to all his princes to drink, and his sin has reached to heaven. We must get out of Babylon so we don't receive the punishment that is coming upon this city. Hurry, children. Flee to the country. Get out quickly, but be very careful that you are not seen by the Persian soldiers. Farewell.